each other. I mean, this world is full of that. We all the way live. Well, then we're gonna go ahead and well, we was part live already, so I know what I'm saying. It's just that you done heard people misuse that. You know, you hear people talking about that's all the way live in a dead world. So we live on all stations now. So in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the most merciful, the truthful, and the most just, I greet all of you once again with the greeting words of peace from the Lord of the worlds. May Allah's salam alaikum. You know, I am I think I want to lay something to rest. The lady that I interviewed Wednesday, Miss Allison, Miss Julison, she called Brother Jamar and asked him would he connect her to me yesterday. And he called me and relayed her message. I said, yes, connect her to me. And when she got on the phone, she commenced to telling me how she didn't appreciate how she was treated. And she said that I said she wrote that article. And she was getting on me for saying that she wrote that article. She said, I didn't write that article. And then she said, and you said I should be killed. And she was fussing now. And so I fussed back. I mean, you know how that goes. Don't never come up to me and go to accusing me and think you're going to just give me a piece of your little mind and I'm going to just stand there and take that. That ain't going to happen. And so I commenced to, when she said that I said that she wrote the article. Well, if you dictate if someone interview you and you dictate the words, even if they doing the writing, if you hadn't gave them the words, they couldn't have did it in your name. When you let them do it in your name and you didn't correct nothing on that, you wrote that. Why do you think that, you know, you just recently started hearing politicians. I remember I heard former President Bush say, I think he was the first one I heard say that, I'm George W. Bush and I approve this message. Huh? Did y'all hear anybody saying that before him? Yes, sir. Who said it first? You talking about a lot of them. Now I'm asking you who. I know a lot of them being saying it now. But I you know, some of y'all that's listening, y'all share with me. But that's something new for politicians to do. But I think they got wise. The people who do their writing and stuff and the advertisers and stuff, they go, no, you come out here, you ain't gonna have no plausible deniability. You come on this. Do you have to? Because when if they don't say I wrote it or I approved it, then they can later on say, look, I didn't say that. I don't know who wrote that. You understand? Yeah, you get somebody else sued. But if they make you say you approve this message, well, that means that you looked over it and you approved it. Now, did she accuse anybody of slandering her? Now, it's funny how, I'll show you an example. Some of the most wicked people. I mean, you done seen movies like the Godfather and different things. They steal and they rob and they do all kind of stuff, right? And it's okay. When somebody steals from them, they break his leg. Go over there and make an example out of that. Is that what he said? Well, that's the way the people in this world are. They do things to you that they would hate if you did it to them. Huh? Okay. Now she said, she was blasting me. I got a witness. Can I? What'd you say, Brother Jamal? Did she go off? He had to be listening because he the one hooked us up. She was ranting at me about saying she wrote that, and she going around talking to whatever network she could, saying that Bill Cosby raped her, suggesting that he raped her. Now, let me read something to you that she did write and owned up to saying. It says, and this is from the Post, the Washington Post. Bill Cosby sexually assaulted me. I didn't tell because I didn't want to let Black America down. I let race trump rape. I let race trump rape. Now, when you hear the term he sexually assaulted me, what comes into your mind? That's just a nice way of saying what? Oh, he raped her. When I asked her, did Bill Cosby rape you? What did she say? She said no. You remember I told you, and I warned you, really. I told you I could be the best friend you have or the worst enemy. If she had went on, left well enough alone, I'd probably left it alone. But coming back in here getting indignant with me because you got caught in your lie. The one came in here and I let her do something I ain't never let hardly nobody do. And that was take over the meeting and give me a chance to speak when she got ready. Huh? She even started telling me what she wanted to talk about. When we were supposed to be talking about what she accused Bill Cosby of doing to her. And it seemed like when she got in here, she wanted to talk about everything but that. Right? Now, I'm not going to belabor this because I got a lot of other things I want to talk about tonight. But now, is anybody in that's listening think that I've misrepresented something? Did I twist her words when she was in the room with me? Did I run her off? Matter of fact, I told her, I'm not trying to run you off. I just want to get some things clear here. I want to address some of the things you're saying. Huh? She would start off talking about the safety of our children, right? Okay. A community where children ain't safe, that's intolerable, right? And she kept on trying to link that somehow to Bill Cosby. A man who been doing just the opposite of telling black people we need to start taking care of our own children. He even told our people, look, even if you're not a Muslim, you need to emulate the black Muslims. For they build schools and they protect their children, they protect their women. So what is she talking? How come she's against him? Miss Activist. I'm not saying nothing behind her that I wouldn't say to her face. I ain't like y'all. A man wrote me and told me, he left a blog on here and said, he's mad because what I was showing y'all about Minister Farrakhan. He said, now I don't know who he is, and his name on Rafiq Rasul. No such thing as a Muslim God. Now, Cypher. No such thing as a Muslim God now, Cypher. I think he was saying that what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught about the black man being God, that ain't true. And that's what I guess that's what he's saying. He wouldn't come in here, so I can't get him to explain himself. Then he goes on to say, on my video, the Son of Man speaks with Munir. He said, these are the guys who couldn't get official positions in the Nation of Islam. Now that tells you something about his mindset. See, most people, when they don't know, they can't fill in the blanks. They try to put themselves in your position, which is the right thing to do. But the problem is, a fool can't put himself in a wise man's position mentally. But he tells you, really, when he telling you what he figured you was doing, if he had been in that, that's what he'd have been doing. You understand? Because in order for a snake to you know why the devil is compared to a snake, a serpent? Because he travels a crooked path to try to reach a point where he can, he can't crawl straight. He ain't got no legs. So he makes a crooked path. Well, likewise, those who join the nation for other than the belief in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as the messenger of Allah, and had another agenda. They wasn't interested in learning righteousness from him. They was interested in money, good homes, and some friends among thieves. Do you understand? And so they came for the money, good homes, in all walk of life. But they didn't come for the righteousness. So he figured that I wanted a position in the nation. Do you understand? The messenger said the best position any of us could be is a brother. I mean, I didn't want to be nothing but his follower. You understand? And so he misread it again. Now the next video, he saw me with Eric Muhammad, and Rafiq Rasul says, hypocrites, right here. Now he judged me to be a hypocrite. Okay? I wanted to bring him in here and ask him, what am I a hypocrite, or who am I a hypocrite to? You can't call me a hypocrite to Minister Farrakhan, because I never said I was Minister Farrakhan's follower. You can't call me a hypocrite to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because if you find something in his teachings that I'm going against, then I will agree with you. I'm a hypocrite. This next one, he went to the Ku Klux Klan video. Oh, he going through all mine. he says, talking about me, he loves the devil because the devil gives him nothing. If you ask him, what is the nothing that the devil gives that I'm in love with? In the first place, if he had paid any attention to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, Allah did not raise us up to go looking to see who we could make mock of. He said, we was raised up to show the world what righteousness looks like and how it feels to be righteous. He said, and you must remember that a ruler being dishonorable and dishonoring people, he is dishonoring himself. Respect everybody, and everybody will respect you. How did the Ku Klux Klan director treat me? I gave respect and I got respect. And you call respect nothing? I didn't say I was in love with him. Matter of fact, I fussed him out. I told you respect and love look alike. And anybody that don't know the difference would think they are the same, like this fool. He thinks because I respect white people that I don't fell in love with them. White people know I ain't in love with them. That's why they respect me. The ones that's in love with them, they know you. The ones that's in love with them, this man who talking to me like this is in love with white people. How you know that? He ain't trying to do nothing to get off my them. Now, if that ain't love, it'll do as far as white folks is concerned. But anyway, let's go to the next one. Then on the Neubauer video, he says of me, his tongue needs to be delivered to Chicago ASAP. Okay. Now, if my tongue need to be delivered to Chicago, well, we know what his real problem is. I never said I was a hypocrite. Minister Farrakhan told him he was a hypocrite. And he coming in here jumping on me. I mean, really? Boy, these people is something. But anyway, I'm gonna go on and read something else here. I told the brother to invite him in, and this is the invitation that we gave to Rafiq Rasul. He says he spelled it how it sounds. That's not actually how Rafiq should be spelled, but that's how he spelled it on there. F-E-E-K. And so anyway, and Rasul, R-A-H-S-O-O-L. You know, but anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. Why don't you come in and talk to the Son of Man? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said a coward Muslim is not a Muslim. May I inform the Son of Man that you will be calling in tomorrow evening, which is Friday, tonight. And if you're not, don't post any more comments on our videos. Why don't you come in and talk to the Son of Man? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as he put it, he sent it twice, I get it out twice. So we You know, we don't allow people to leave graffiti on our sites. Because generally, if a person does a lie on you or makes an accusation at you about you, and you see it there and you don't address it, the readers say, well, oh, must be true. You know, I mean, the only one I want to address is somebody who I know ain't in their right mind. I don't stand up arguing with a man that ain't all there. That's not, you know, when I say ain't in their right mind, I mean that does not have his mental faculties in proper working order. Everybody in the world, as far as on this planet, you know, if you want to hear the truth, ain't none of you in your right mind. Not according to the scripture. Because the scripture said, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And I'm looking all over the earth. I don't see nobody that's keeping God's commandments. Matter of fact, you can't keep what you couldn't understand. That's why I had to come speak to you. If I had not came and spoke to you, you wouldn't be blamable. But now, Allah told me that I can get the blame off of me if I come and speak to you with his words. And that's what I'm doing. Now, let me read something to you. And you can point it up there to the, put it up on the screen. I made it big so the people can see it. If you tell a lie long and loud enough, people will eventually start to believe it. Was that really Hitler? One tried to tell me it was Joseph Goebbels. And this is the person that answered the quote there. The best answer is, I'm not sure, but it probably was Hitler. But what he didn't know is, if you lie long enough, you go insane. Well, that's true too. An insane person is a person that loses touch with what's huh? When you start shedding real tears, when somebody tell you that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer died, yes, you got a problem. Santa Claus got sick, and you worried about it, you got a problem. Is that right? Because you lying and don't know you lying. Huh? That's the best deceivers. The best deceiver is the one, as the Holy Bible says, deceiving and being deceived. You see, if you can trick a man that has a gift of salesmanship into believing in something, then he will unwittingly dupe others into believing that. Do you understand? That's why the scripture says, don't believe every word. Don't believe every mind that comes in and tells you something. Try them. That means question them. You notice Miss Jewel Allison told me something when she was giving me one-word answers to simple questions that she should have expounded on. It's like when I asked her, where did you grow up? I mean, if you got nothing to hide, what are you? New York, Bronx. Well, you know, I'm giving her a chance to explain herself. Let us know a little bit about you before you come in here making accusations about a man that almost everybody in America knows. See, I'm teaching them now how to put the game over. But if they do that, they still, look, let me read to you. Now, by the way, somebody named Baby Blue said if you lie, you lie long enough, you'll go insane. Hey, you know, I like that. Now, Joseph Goebbels, now they're quoting him. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political or economic from the political, economic, and or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent. Repress anybody being able to question you and disagree with you. I told you that God was at the root of, it was his plan, what happened here in America. What was the first freedom that the founding fathers adopted in the Constitution of the United States? Huh? Freedom of speech. I mean, how in the world are you going to grow and learn and remain free if you try to stop the truth from being told? Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. Why? Because we don't know what the true religion is yet. God ain't sent it yet. He ain't revealed it to us. How do they know that? I told you the founding fathers knew what the Holy Quran said. He it is who sent his messenger with the guidance and the true religion, that he may make it overcome the religions, all of them. In America, when the founding fathers first started, the only religion they had was Christianity. They had that when they left England, and they didn't like it. That's why they left. Because the church was one of the biggest oppressors. You know, it's more oppression of people being done in the name of God than any other source. More murder being committed in the name of calling it necessary to get rid of evil. If all this murder y'all been doing, getting rid of evil, why is evil still here? That's just the lie that the devil, the murderer, made up to justify murder. We got to kill Jesus so he can be the savior of everybody. Okay, go kill him. And then all right. Now where are you killing where are you killing others? Well, you know, Jesus took that to the cross with him. Jesus already paid for that because he know we weak. You know, the flesh is weak, you know. Right? So, Goebbels said, let's read a little further. He said, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie. And thus, by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. Now, what kind of mind is that? What did the devil do when he you said the white man ain't the devil. The messenger told you Allah revealed that the white man is the devil. What did the devil say to Jesus when he took him up in the mountain? What did he show him? All the kingdoms of the world, and said this was delivered to who? When you deliver something to somebody, you let them have it, don't you? Let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion. For how long? For they also, the devils asked Jesus, Jesus, thou Son of God, art thou come hither to torment us before the time? What do you mean before the time? The devil knew how long he had, didn't he? If I'm lying, this is what you do. Write your congressman and tell your congressman to reinstitute the draft where he can order people to go into the military. And if he can do that, if they go do that, and is successful at it, I'll say everything I've been teaching is a lie. He ain't got no authority to order nobody to do nothing. That's why he abolished the draft. His time to be over you is up. You go now, he gonna say, I just called you and you obeyed me. You see? And the only reason that the members that was in the nation before and the people that claim they for right won't follow me is because they're envious and jealous. And if they follow me, they're going to lose all them money that they've been collecting from people while they stand up there pretending to be something that they're not. They don't care about you. They care about your money. Now, and ain't there one of them come in here and show me that God sent him. Not one. Let me read a little bit more. It says, obviously, said in German, not English. So some translations may be slightly different. Now, it goes on to say, the complete quote is as follows. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, and/or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress disagreement or dissent. For the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie. And thus, by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state that bases its rule over you on a lie. I added that last little part so you'd understand. Goebbels, even when wise men of this world and the last world spoke a thing, they always left something out that if you read what they had to say, as though saying a hint to the wise is sufficient. If that message, if your mind was on a level that theirs was on, you didn't need them to finish that out. Now, let's go on. Mine ain't just on their level. Mine is above that. He that's from above is above all. And it says, Joseph Goebbels did say it. Don't sell him short. he was an extremely intelligent man, a brilliant manipulator, and was Hitler's master of propaganda. Goebbels' deeply rooted contempt for humanity, his urge to sow confusion, hatred, and intoxication, his lust for power, and his mastery of the techniques of mass persuasion were given full vent in the election campaigns of 1932, when he played a crucial role in bringing Hitler to the center of the political stage. He was rewarded on 13 March 1933 with the position of Reich Minister of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda, which gave him total control of the communications media, i.e. radio, press, publishing, cinema, and the other arts. He retained this position for his lifetime. He was Hitler's right-hand man until their deaths. He chose to suicide himself and poison his wife and 6 kids so as to die with Hitler. With characteristic pathos and egomania, he declared not long before his death, quote, "We shall go down in history as the greatest statesmen of all time or as the greatest criminals." He also said, "The most brilliant propagandist technique will yield no success unless one fundamental principle is borne in mind," meaning kept in mind constantly. It must confine itself just a moment. It must confine itself to a few points and read over and over. He drugged me and I passed out. Another one comes up. He drugged me and I passed out. And all of them saying the same thing. Right out of Goebbels. Let's see here. Whoever can conquer the street will one day conquer the state. So what is the news media doing? They know they ain't them. That Bill Cosby ain't did nothing to them women. Some of them he actually tried to help. But you remember what Gloria Allred let slip when he said, "I would rather try it in court and not the court of public opinion." That's why George Washington said that since we have an elective government, it is very necessary, it's vital that we promote the institutions for the diffusion of knowledge. Meaning the dispersion and if you're gonna have people electing your leadership and electing your government, you should want those people to be very enlightened. But instead, look what they did systematically from year to year. The teachers' salaries get low. And they pay football players millions of dollars. Keep your mind on sport and play and gambling and not on education. Okay, they want you to be stupid so they can do what? Let's ruin him. Go out there and say Bill Cosby drugged you and raped you. And then they say, well, ain't somebody going to ask? Not if we don't tell them to. Ain't nobody going to ask you what kind of drug you use. We tell the public what to think. That's what they say behind closed doors. Well, I'm out here with the public. You don't tell me what to think. And when I finish with the public, you're not going to be telling them what to think. So it says, whoever can conquer the street will one day conquer the state. For every form of power, politics, and any dictatorship run state has its roots in the street. If the day should ever come when we, the Nazis, must go, if someday we are compelled to leave the scene of history, we will slam the door so hard that the universe will shake and mankind will stand back in stupefaction. Yeah, stupefactions. So remember, you have to keep the lie short and sweet, and just keep repeating a few points. The more points you add to the lie, the easier it is for somebody to catch you in it. But it's the rest that these women coming in here lying on Dr. Cosby. So I want you to see this. Let's see. Let's open this one with Real Player. And we'll open the other one with, give me a moment. Let's see. Windows Media. Okay.
Let's talk to one another. Let's reason with one another. On a spiritual discussion with Philippines. A live broadcast Sunday at 12. Sometimes for that day or sometimes or the following day or the next week, whatever, you have to constantly call in so that they give you your schedule. And so I called in and I was told that I was, Mr. Cosby had asked for me, that he wanted to see me. So I'm just assuming at the time, of course, that this was an audition. You know, of course, this is what I'm thinking. So I got the information. I was excited, of course, at that time as a woman of color to get that call from a top show where all the black actors were hoping to get work on. You know, you were happy to hear that. I mean, that's what I thought was going to happen. And she took me to a couple of others, and we went to the show in Queens at Astoria Austin. And that's how I initially met him. Okay. And it didn't end there, although I thought maybe it would have, ended there. And then the next time I got a call again, the next time, same thing, I called in and said, Cosby wants to see you. I said, okay, I got the information, and I was invited to a dinner party, which I thought was going to be, obviously not just me and him, but a dinner party means other people, there. But it was just me and him. And I came in, and it was, he cooked dinner for me. It was my birthday.
Just a moment.
I thought.
Just a moment. It's something that I may have missed. The attorney agency told you, or he invited you? Which was? I think you.
before you said that you called in and they do.
My agent, my booking agent told me that Mr. Cosby called the agency and invited me to a dinner at his home.
Also, it didn't come directly to you. It came through the agency.
Right.
All right. Y'all heard her, right? Okay. YouTube don't want y'all to hear this. Caller. See, let's see here. In the how many of you showing in the conference room? Okay. Yeah. So, you know, the truth will always find its way out. I don't care how good your roof is. Allah can make a storm enough to get a leak in there. Do you understand? You ain't got no storm-proof roof. Is it back up now? All right. Well, let's play it again, Sam. Let's that Casablanca. That was the name of it. Huh? All right. That's how they want to do. That ain't no problem. They want to play them games. Gonna wish you hadn't. Now let's hear Jewel again. I mean, cause she was just ridiculous. Listen to her.
America has been a history of continuous injustice.
Yes.
And so, you know, since you alluded back to it, I would like for you to tell us, walk us through what you are saying happened with you and Dr. Cosby. And how did you?
You know, maybe it's a good thing they did do that, because now it's something you need to hear. It's something that the Holy Quran said that she did. I want you to hear her for a minute. Just be patient. We're gonna be here a while this evening.
Very fortunate and blessed to be asked to come back and speak to a graduating class, and I was a keynote speaker. Is one of the biggest moments in my life at Brooklyn College, addressing Abraham Lincoln graduates. That was wonderful.
Were your parents well off, or you was like the rest of us?
Well, I grew up in I guess you could say a modest middle class neighborhood, though. You know, we grew up in a whatever they're calling these homes now, or brownstones or whatever.
So you wasn't no party animal.
No, I wasn't.
Well, you know what we used to do on the weekend. Everybody was looking for fun. So
always loved literature. So I was always reading and writing from a very young age. So that when you're a writer and you're a poet, that's kind of something that do alone a lot.
Yeah.
So you're in a room doing that alone a lot. And I've always loved music. And so I was always studying the great jazz musicians and studying music and playing. I studied piano and flute and clarinet at Brooklyn Music School. So I guess I was always doing things inside the house,
Yeah, you didn't run with the in crowd, so to speak.
No, I didn't run out. I didn't have time at
girl.
piano. And then I don't know. I was always very serious. I'm really, my friends say I'm really funny and very zany. But then, the quiet side of me is very introspective. I'm always very concerned about human beings and where we're at and how we're doing, what's going on in the world and how I've always been like that. I mean, I started studying with Dr. Ben, who just passed away. So I'm grieving that lost Dr. Ben, who passed away yesterday morning. And I studied with him, and I was fortunate enough as a teenager to study African history and with Dr. Ben as well as Dr. Clark. And from a very young age, I always was just curious about, who we were. And I've always been very sensitive to injustice. It's my Achilles heel. And I still pray every day for a better world, that we all become better human beings. That we can dismantle racism. We got to get rid of that.
We got that in common.
That just has to go. And sexism and all, the isms, they're just not working. Bob Marley sang about, ism, schism games. They're really destroying the earth, in my opinion,
Yes, ma'am.
And I was fortunate enough also to, I tell you about being blessed in my life. I met Minister Farrakhan not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a tour of the Caribbean. And I was in Barbados. My father's Asian. And I was in Barbados and I met Minister Farrakhan, and that was wonderful. And I had the opportunity to give him my book and put it in his hands and speak with him and listen to him, speaking in person. That was amazing, amazing experience to be that close to him.
Yes.
And I couldn't help but think one of the things that struck me, I've been listening and studying him all my life. And I'll get to that a little later, but when you get to meet the minister in person and you get to see how humble he is, and how beautiful a man is, and speaker, and brilliant and he's all these wonderful things that oftentimes we don't get to see the man in the full picture. We don't get to see all of that. So that was great.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I've been knowing of him since 1973. Which I joined the Nation of Islam.
And one of the things that he talked about that really everything is just so amazing. But one of the things that he speaks about is what I'm going through in my life that has escalated over the past 4 or 5 months or so is just the what do you call it, the divinity of the woman, the divine. For woman, our nation can rise no higher than its woman. And I think that, now that this situation with Dr. Cosby is kind of falling on our doorstep, and the Black community, we have to ask ourselves, what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do? And I have not heard it being really voiced in that way or talked about the Black community, because You know, I'm not a white woman, you know, and I know of other Black women and women of color who have also shared with me some very painful stories of this, and are caused survivors. And you know, rape is a weapon of mass destruction. I mean, on the entire global populace.
Well, the thing that
now, she was speaking to me, and underneath what she was saying was the accusation or the suggestion that we have already agreed that Bill Cosby is a wrongdoer, is a rapist. What are we going to do about it? Huh? This is at our door now. I'm a Black woman. I'm not a white woman that this happened to. That kind of stuff. As if I done already agreed with her that he's guilty of what they charged him with. That man ain't been found guilty of nothing in no court of law. That man ain't never even been charged in a court of law. But you know, the court of public opinion don't operate like the court of law. Now, what is that to say? So you want justice when somebody accuses you, but you only want it inside of the court system? You don't care if the street people lynch you? I don't just believe in justice inside of a building that you call a courtroom. I believe in justice on earth, as in thy will be done on earth. Won't you quit lying, getting on your knees? That's how people shoot dice. You get on your knees and you go on and do your thing. Daddy need a new pair of shoes. Yeah, I shot dice before. I know how it go. I did some stuff. But all that was so that I could talk to you in your language. The Holy Quran saw me in this day and time standing up, defending people like Bill Cosby, like President Barack Obama, like, you know, every Black man that has ever stood up, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Every man that have ever stood up for justice for us, for manhood for us, they've always strove to tear them down in your sight. Huh? And then when one of us get up to speak up for him, he didn't know how to defend them without being attacked himself. You notice ain't nobody attacking me. What that tell you? I'm your advocate. As long as you right, as long as you for right, you have an advocate. That's me. And if you got me, you have Allah and his angels also. Now, turn to the 113th chapter of the Holy Quran, and it's entitled Al-Falaq, the dawn. Did you notice, after listening to me and listening to me talk to different people, and you listen to me talk about interviews that you saw, it dawns on you that them people is lying. That's because I'm the Lord of the dawn, Son of righteousness. When you see it lightening up in the eastern hemisphere, I tell you what you do. You go outside in the morning, say around 5:30, and just wait out there a while. And watch what happens to the sky. Look to the east. and watch what happens to the sky. It'll look like somebody turning a dimmer switch up, and you'll see the sky lightening up as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So the physical Lord of the dawn is the sun. The spiritual Lord of the dawn is standing here talking to you in the flesh. It ain't this flesh. It's the mind that's in this flesh. Do you understand? Yes. Do anybody disagree? The Holy Quran says, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn. The Lord of the dawn is the Son of Man. The truth didn't start to dawn on you until I started speaking up and showing you that you didn't know. If you heard people all the time say, we don't know if I hope he didn't do it, or whatever. I bet you ain't saying you hope he didn't do it now. If you believe in justice, I done shown you these women are lying. Yes, they're just lying. Yes, sir. I'm going to tell you something else. When the truth is on your side, you don't care about people who asking you what the truth is. You sure don't start evading it and talking about something else. And raped her, and she coming in here talking about her, what she want to do for children and all that kind of stuff. Yes, what that got to do with what you say that man did to you? Then when I asked her point blank, did Bill Cosby rape you? Or did Dr. Cosby rape you? No. Well, why we need to talk about rape? Let's see what it says. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn from the evil of that which he has created. And the jinn we created before of intensely hot fire. You know who the jinn is? It's the devil. And you know what the devil said he was going to do to those on earth? He said, I shall certainly make evil fast seeming to them. Then you were told to seek refuge in the Son of Man from the evil of the jinn, the evil of the devil, who makes evil look like it's okay to you. Then it says, and from the evil of intense darkness when it comes. From the evil of all of these people who, you know, what is a laser beam? It's light, isn't it? Yes, sir. But it's light intensified. Yes, sir. Isn't it? Yes, sir. Okay. When you walk in a church, when you walk in a mosque, when you walk in a synagogue, when you walk in a church, what them place the Catholic got? They call them cathedrals. When you walk in any of these so-called houses, or I should say, quote unquote, houses where the word of God is supposedly being taught. When you walk in there looking to be taught because you are acknowledging that you are ignorant. You wouldn't go in there looking for somebody to teach you if you thought you already knew. Would you? So you are acknowledging that you are blind. You are in the dark. And those people that you call rabbis and ministers and imams and popes and priests. They are claiming that they are in the light. Right? So when you listen to them, you are thinking that you are being enlightened, that your blindness, your darkness is being removed. But if they are not enlightened, then your darkness is being intensified. Now you have not only your ignorance, but they done put theirs inside of you too. Do you understand? Yes. That's intense darkness. From the evil of that which he has created, and from the evil of intense darkness when it comes, and from the evil of those, now we're talking about people, who cast evil suggestions in firm resolution. You made your New Year's resolution? What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do to change this year? I'm going to make the resolution to do, while she done already suggested that Bill Cosby has already been found guilty of something that he was never charged with. Yes. Is that right? Yes, sir. So that's an evil suggestion she made that you wouldn't have caught. She didn't expect me to catch it. Right after she said it, look what I said to her.
I'm a stickler for his justice for our people. I'm familiar with how we have been done in this country. The whole history of the black man and woman in America has been a history of continuous injustice.
Yes.
And so, since you alluded back to it, I would like for you to walk us through what you are saying happened with you and Dr. Cosby. For instance, how did you wind up visiting him?
Yeah, I was working as a model, and my agent was very good friends with people. We used to call him Mr. C. All of us called Mr. C. Everybody around him called Mr. C.
What agency, before you could name, agency was this? Was this the Wilhelmina agency or no?
No, I was with Charney.
Say that again, through Charney?
I was with Charney, yes.
Oh, that's the name of her agency?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Charney agency. Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And they were good friends. And, she was sending models to him all the time, I just assumed it was for acting. And I got a call, every day as a model, you are to call in, we call check in with the agency to see about what your assignments are. Mm-hmm. Sometimes for that day, or sometimes for the following day or the next week, whatever. You have to constantly call in so that they give you your schedule. And so I called in, and I was told that Mr. Cosby had asked for me, that he wanted to see me. So I'm just assuming at the time, of course, that this was an audition. Of course, this is what I'm thinking. So I got the information. I was excited, of course, at that time as a woman of color to get that call from a top show where all the black actors were hoping to get work on. You were happy to hear that. I mean, that's what I thought was going to happen. And she took me, there were a couple of others, and we went to the show in Queens at Scriptural Discussion. And that's how I initially met him.
Okay.
And it didn't end there, although I thought maybe it would have, ended there. And then the next time I got a call again, the next time, same thing, I called in and said, Cosby wants to see you. I said, okay, I got the information, and I was invited to a dinner party, which I thought was going to be, obviously not just me and him, but a dinner party means other people, there. But it was just me and him. And I came in, and it was, he cooked dinner for me. It was my birthday.
Just a moment.
I thought.
Just a moment. It's something that I may have missed. The attorney agency told you, or he invited you? Which was? I think before you said that you called in and they told you.
My agent told me that Mr. Cosby called the agency and invited me to a dinner at his home.
Oh, so it didn't come directly to you. It came through the agency.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. Everything came through the agent. That it always comes through the agent.
Did she say it sometimes comes through the agent? No. Or did she say it always comes through the agent? Okay. Now listen. You see, you have to. You look. I didn't have this other tape that I'm sharing with you when I was asking her those questions. You remember when I opened up with the opening prayer? And I told her I would talk to her like I talked to my own sister or my mother's own daughter. Yes. And I was talking to her just like I talked to my sister Laverne or Yvonne or whatever. Then I have two sisters. And sometimes we argue with each other. And sometimes we let's be laughing and kicking it with each other. But either way, it's a different kind of conversation than you have with strangers. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. Now, she was relaxed by now. And she said that any invitations or whatnot always came through the agent. Right? But, you have to remember what lie you tell. If you don't remember what lie you told, you're going to slip up. And I'm going to tell you something. You can't remember every lie you tell. I don't care how you try. You know why? It's because if I didn't say that fear God and keep his commandments is the whole duty of man. God said that. Almighty Allah also said that through Prophet Muhammad, Allah imposes no duty on any soul beyond its scope, meaning beyond its ability. You wasn't made to remember lies. He didn't form these bodies to remember lies. Our bodies were formed to remember truth. We forget a lie quick. But the truth stays with us. When did you first learn your ABC? Once you learned them, did you ever forget them again? And you wasn't walking around always saying them. Is that right? I know that's right. But now, she forgot she had said that, she gave this interview before she spoke to me. Now listen to this interview.
I went to the show for the dinner, and I started, he kept inviting me every week. He would keep calling me and telling me to come. Are you coming? Every week. I got a phone call from him at my house, and I don't know how he got that number. And I would receive voicemail messages on my answer machine. If you can imagine, you come home, you're like, this is Bill Cosby. And I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to invite you out tonight. I remember it was actually the same day that time. It was like, I think it was a Thursday. I think they used to shoot on Thursdays.
She forgot all about that. She forgot all about that interview. See, when you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. If it ever come up again, you're going to say the same thing anyway. Do you understand? It's not that you walking around trying to memorize the truth. The very nature of us is to take in and retain the truth. You see, that's the very nature of the human being. That's what's meant when the scripture says that my strength is made perfect in weakness. I need you to see these things. Okay. Let's see. In 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, and the 9th verse, it says, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power or knowledge of Christ may rest upon me. And you see, what does the statement, my strength is made perfect in weakness, mean? I'll tell you what it means. First, where does it say the flesh is weak? Matthew 26 and 41. Let's go there. It says, watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is what? So when he said, my strength is made perfect in weakness, he was saying in flesh. Huh? All right. Then what is perfect? Complete. What is strength? What's another word for strength? What's another word for strength? Knowledge. And what is knowledge? Power. So that's another word for strength, isn't it? Okay, I didn't have the power, I didn't have the strength, right? Well, he said, my strength, my power is made perfect. What makes knowledge complete? Understanding. When you have the understanding of it, then the knowledge is complete. Huh? All right. I didn't say an understanding. I said the understanding. And so the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory as the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. He made me complete, and I'm making the knowledge complete in you. Well, you didn't have no understanding until I brought it. All you had was belief. I'm bringing you that which you can put your faith in. The messenger said we could believe there's an airplane out there, but there ain't no airplane out there. It's a difference between know and belief. You shall know the truth. It didn't say you shall believe the truth. Well, I'm showing you. I know the truth. That's why I can stand out here and don't run when people come in here to ask me questions. But you notice, don't none of them want to let me ask them no questions. Is that right? That's what liars have to do. They have to avoid questions, man. You start asking questions, the liar starts getting manifested. Now here this woman said that all of the appointments and stuff went through agents. Now she forgot she told the man that he called her. Now how would you forget that if it ever happened? She'd have told me the same thing. But she told me a different lie. Now let's see here. They all come in there acting like they're so innocent, right? All right, let's see if they're really innocent. Let's let another one talk. I'm gonna cut to the chase because I want to say something about these secret men that getting drunk. So I need to say something about that. Give me a moment. Here. I think this will sum it up for you.
Today in Christina's Court.
I became an alcoholic. 2001 you were, what was it? You were given the International Modeling Talent Association. You were the male model runner-up.
Yes.
For the year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tell me a little about yourself.
I grew up in Reno, Nevada, and basically how I met Janice was, saw the opening for the show, and you sent in my tape, went down there, met everybody.
But you had prior success before you got on.
I did, yeah. I did some modeling back and forth between Reno and LA before I actually moved down to Los Angeles, at which point, I got on the show and everything like that.
But you're here today suing Ms. Dickinson.
I'm here today, for defamation of my character.
For defamation, because she has defamed you, because she has called you an alcoholic on the show. Is that true?
More than one time.
And I know this is very serious for you, this issue.
Extremely.
Because I know all of your books. I've read them. That's why this is important, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you understand drug abuse.
I do.
You understand alcohol abuse.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been, as you say in your books,
done that.
through hell and back, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, for the sake of kids who are watching this today, to get a little serious, if you can, in a nutshell, tell us the worst position in your life because of drug abuse or alcohol abuse.
From the bottom of my heart, I became an alcoholic due to unresolved issues from childhood. My dad was a bad guy. He was a pedophile. He used to make my older sister and force her to have sex with him. I held a secret for 6
She said her dad was a pedophile and used to force her sister to have sex with him. She also said in another place he used to beat her because she wouldn't have sex with him. She didn't shed one tear. But what was all that breaking down over Bill Cosby supposedly doing something to her? If she should have been shedding tears, it ought to have been over what her daddy was doing, shouldn't it? Oh, just wait. Just wait. Just
15 years not to tell anyone. This is a tragic story, but I beg anyone out there that's listening, please tell someone if you're having problems out there with a neighbor, a father, a mother, a sister, or a brother. I became a model in the late 70s and went to New York City with $14 in my pocket. Behind the scenes in the fashion industry, there are always lines of champagne, free champagne, gorgeous champagne. I grew up with no money, so the minute I hit those trays of champagne, I started knocking them down because it was free. But I didn't realize that I was having the problem was developing on the spot because of the free available champagne. After hours, it was the cocaine and it was the ecstasy after hours. I beg parents not to let your kids, to monitor your children and not let that happen, what happened to me.
What's the worst situation you think you put yourself in because of this abuse?
Humiliation of myself, losing clients, lying to people, lying.
Now she confessing. She don't mind lying. Lying to people. Got up there lying on with Dr. Cosby. A cokehead. And she confessed that, champagne and coke and all that stuff, that's in it. Behind the scenes. Then why they want to come out there and act like they innocent and they was just poor models that was trying to make a living and they ain't. I took 2 sips and I was almost passed out. Not if you've been snorting cocaine, you ain't took no 2 sips or something and almost passed out. But see, they forget what lie they tell. Just listen.
Lying to myself, but I didn't realize I had the problem until I went to rehab in 1982 for this problem.
How many times in rehab?
I've been to rehab twice, 1982 for cocaine addiction and 1993 for pill addiction.
So this is, and I understand the show, which I've seen and my husband's a fan of.
Thank you.
It's interesting because you are hard. You are.
Just like you are, Judge Perez.
Yes. Sometimes I am. But the great thing about this show, and I don't want to say kids, but they're almost like your kids.
They are my children.
You treat them like that.
I do.
And like what they go through, you take personally. You take very personally. I've seen some of the shows. She becomes irate, doesn't she? Just
you can call me a
She only cares when it's filming.
Up next in Christina's court.
You're being a total ass. I should have kicked you in the crotch. You're so stupid.
If you'd like to contact Christina's court, call toll-free 1-800-901-7039 or log on to christinascourt.com.
It needs to be. You don't mess with Janice Dickinson.
Supermodel Janice Dickinson. What am I? It rhymes with rich.
You are hard. It's okay. Let me smell your breath. I am so pissed off at you. You've been drinking.
Last night. It's been over 12 hours.
What is wrong with you? You're blowing up your career. I'm at the Go software shoot. I just found out that Kehoe was reeking of booze and late for the job. I am so angry at this kid. He has no...
Now, what you just saw, can you see Bill Cosby pushing her around? I didn't hear you. I'm not going to even talk about some of the other stuff she was talking about. I mean, the man, when people hate you, like I said, I mean, anytime a black man come in a white man's court in America, he guilty until he can prove that he's innocent beyond the reasonable, I should say, beyond any doubt. There ain't no reasonable doubt, beyond any doubt. Do you know y'all gonna have to pay for how you acted after I spoke to you? I'm talking to you white people. You fool everybody else. You ain't fooling me. If you don't change, I'm here to give you a chance to change. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. For Satan himself is changed into an angel of light. Okay. You can either accept the salvation I'm offering you, or soon you ain't going to have no mind. I ain't worried about you fighting me. You ain't going to do nothing to me. And all you Negroes who fall in them, who refuse to stop being a nigger, y'all going down together. All you are is a grafted white man. You run around here calling the white man wicked and calling the white man evil. And you went all through his school. And it ain't dawned on you yet that you the white man yourself. So if I was you, I wouldn't condemn him too loud, because you're condemning yourself. You better be glad that I'm here. You better be glad that Allah said the Son of Man came to seek and to save that which was lost. The one that there was no, when you lost, there wasn't no hope for you. Jesus said he didn't lose but one, and that's the son of perdition. Jesus can't help you. He already said he couldn't help you. But he said the Son of Man came to seek and to save that which was lost. Can't nobody else save you, because can't nobody else deal with your lies and your arguing and asking them questions they can't answer. Come in here and ask me one I can't answer. I'm not running from you. You see, he's smart. He already knows he don't know what I know. Therefore, how could he even ever dream to ask me a question that I can't answer about what I'm teaching? In order to ask the teacher of a subject something about the subject he's teaching on that he can't answer, you'd have to know equal or greater than him. Actually, you have to be a greater teacher than him, because if you just equal to him, his guess is as good as yours. So you still don't know if he's telling you the truth. I know how to prove my answers. I don't just stand up and say somebody or something. If I ask a man, call me a hypocrite. Hypocrite is a liar. Show me what lie I told. And if you can't, then you just damned yourself. You just called yourself a hypocrite. Because a person that accusing you of something, if you're not guilty, then they lied. And they knew they were lying. Do you understand? Yes. If you can't prove what you say, you shouldn't have said it. Unless you said, I believe you are that, or I believe this, or I believe that. It's a difference in saying you believe a thing and just saying this is what that is. Do you understand? So, I mean, she got issues with some of everybody. Let me show you. This woman is something, man. Let me see here. What she say about? Let's see here. I mean, it's not just one interview. it's many interviews that make you realize that she's, you know, she got issues.
Okay, it's not just another pretty face in today's celebrity spotlight. For a young girl at 13, she needs to feel that she's pretty, but not that that's the begin and end all of her life. What have you said, since you've made so much of your career being out there and over the top and beautiful?
I say to her, be yourself. I say to her, you know, feel good inside. I tell her that it's not about, you know, a dumb fat remark that I made today, earlier about the cover of the People magazine with Jennifer Love Hewitt. And then I said, she's not what you think she is. She's a healthy girl now. You know, but I said that, you know, it was flippant, and I wish to
God I was as fat as Tyra.
I took it back, and I'm taking it back here.
Right.
So, Tyra, you're not fat. You're just you. That's what I tell Savannah.
And she's a pretty fabulous, huh?
She is fabulous. But you know what? It's really difficult because when I was 13, I had a horrible body image because I was flat-chested. My father was a pedophile. He used to beat me on a daily basis because I wouldn't have sex with him. So I was really tough in my household. God. That doesn't happen in our house,
obviously. And
was any breaking down and all that? Then what was that act she was putting on the TV for? All of them getting up there 30 years later talking about they crying about something.
Can't hear you.
Oh, excuse me. You didn't see her breaking down there? She said it like it. Well, like I had dinner with so and so last week, and kept on talking. She said her father was a pedophile. Huh? Beat her because she wouldn't have. You would have thought that she'd have needed a napkin, huh? Especially after what you say she said she did with something that happened 30 years ago with Bill Cosby. This woman is a liar. And somebody put them up to that. The same people who were supplying the Coke and the champagne. Yeah. All of us. When them news people come on there talking about bringing another liar up there to talk about Dr. Cosby, you need to text all of them and tell them, hey, you need to cut that foolishness off. And if you don't, we're going to stop watching your show. Just tell them that. Don't waste your time listening to people lie. When a person lie to ruin a person's reputation that you never had nothing evil in your mind that you knew about that person. Remember, all of this stuff started coming out when and all of them complaining because he called Eddie Murphy and told Eddie Murphy, you need to kind of question and swearing that you be doing. He told Richard Pryor the same thing. He didn't just start doing that. He's been doing that all his life. But now he go around speaking and trying to tell young people that we need to do better, telling parents, look, we can't keep on perpetuating this welfare system, yeah, and all this kind of stuff. And so they don't want you to listen to him. That's what that's about. They don't want you to hear Dr. Cosby, especially after he told you should emulate the Muslims, the black Muslims, not them people over there calling themselves a Muslim. You didn't know nothing about no Islam from over there. You learned Islam from the black Muslims here in America. So why are you trying to link us with them? Don't be hooking me up with them. I don't carry no gun. I don't believe in guns and bombs. I believe in Allah. I truly do believe that the human beings are one family on this planet. They say that the human being, you remember when we was teaching that the white man is the devil? That's not Islam. Islam is love. Islam is for everybody. And then you find out everybody that don't agree with them, they want to chop his head off. Yes, sir. Murdering people and calling yourself a Muslim. Muslims are not murderers. The word Muslim means one who surrenders to God. One who submits, not one who rebels. And Allah said, Son of man, I send thee to the rebellious house of Israel. Not to the submissive house, to the rebellious house. Sitting up talking about, even when the messenger told him that when he gave them my lesson, they thought it was for everybody. He said, what is the birth record of the said nation of Islam? He said, the said nation of Islam has no birth record. It has no beginning nor ending. You know what that meant to them? That they said that the nation of Islam has always existed and will always exist. That's what they thought that meant. Then if that's what that meant, then why was Abraham praying for a nation to be raised from his offspring, a nation of Islam, raised from our offspring, a nation submissive to thee? Why did he need to raise one if it already was in? Then you want to come in here insulting me and talking all crazy to me and don't know nothing. And frankly, I'm getting sick of you too. Getting tired of you jumping up in my face and calling me out of my name and talking about I ain't this and I ain't that, and you do it all behind my back, and the person that you claim you following too scared to come on the phone with me. Then you want to dare to say I'm a liar. Hypocrite. You know, that's hypocrisy. Because if he really thought I was a liar, he'd be in here. That's not said because he believes it. A hypocrite says what he don't really believe. I won't fix you. You just wait. I'm going to fix all of you. You just mark my word. Right now, as is written, for all this, his anger is not turned away. It's like you try to call yourself upset with me. That nigga ain't no son of man. Look how he up there getting angry. The book said I'd be angry with you. You provoked me to anger. But I still been trying to help you. Iron wear out. Okay. Just keep on. It's going to come full circle on you after a while. You heard Janice Dixon say that, and some of everything. And she said she was a liar. Yes. Them is the kind of people they done went to get to talk about Dr. Cosby. Do he have a history of lying? No. What about drugs? No. But Allah gonna fix you. Allah gonna fix every one of them.
The number you have pressed is not valid. To activate call return, press.
So I'm telling you, these things These things that I'm sharing with you puts a burden on you, every one of you that heard me. You always wanting to call yourself telling somebody something or teaching somebody something. Why don't you tell them people to leave Dr. Cosby alone? Do you believe all them women lying? I know I don't believe all of them lying. I know they lying. And all of them telling the same lie. Not one went and got a toxicology report. Not one reported it to the police. But they come to you. I don't know if you're sniffing coke there. I don't know what you're doing. You know, I mean, that stuff don't move me. What up crying and going on? What you crying for? Some 30 years ago? Now, I want to say this. How many of you leave out in the morning? Hush, boy. Hush your mouth. How many of you leave out your house in the morning wondering if it's going to be your last day on earth? You don't, do you? Could you imagine getting up every morning wondering if somebody gonna put a bullet in you? Would you take a job like that? Huh? Let me show you something here.
Representative Jason Chaffetz, he's the chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. We're talking about the latest scandal erupting around the Secret Service. Congress, this is awful what's going on. How did this happen again?
Well, evidently not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before that, 10:30 at night, you have a woman who evidently throws something either through or over the White House fence, claiming that it was a bomb. So there's an active investigation on it going on. And by the way, some reporting, good reporting by Carol Leonnig at the Washington Post. Evidently, this person just gets in her car and leaves. And it was a long time before they actually were able to apprehend this person. But nevertheless, during this active investigation, all of a sudden, you have two agents who come up, go through, going through the tape and actually bumping into a barricade there. When the officers there, the Secret Service Uniform Division, approaches these people, they evidently smell alcohol on their breath. They call a supervisor. Supervisor decides to unilaterally let them go. Don't hold them back. Get in your car, and you two just drive off and move on. And it begs a lot of questions.
Well, that.
You want me to tell you why it begs a lot of questions? It's because the Congress is not doing their job. And to keep you focused on the fact that they are not doing their job and that they are making mischief, they attack a couple of a couple of Secret Service agents who obviously had been off duty at a retirement party. And when they heard something probably heard about what was over there, and just instinct, they went. Now, I want you to think for a minute. How many of you would jump in front of a bullet to save somebody. Watch people when they hear gunshots. See if they run and try to get in front of somebody. They'll run and try to get behind you. Kill this so and so. Is that those Secret Service agents are trained to jump in front of the president, to cover him with their bodies and give their life for him. Also, if they're guarding a congressman or whoever, they are trained to do that. And then on his off time, you catch him drunk or whatever. I saw my daddy drunk before. The man that worked all his life to bring food in my house. Whenever anybody, some danger was around or whatever, I always felt safe when my daddy was around. So I see him drunk or something, and I'm supposed to, what, magnify that and go and do what? Is that how you think people that every day go out wondering if this is going to be their last day on earth? Do you know what kind of, everybody couldn't do that job. It'd be too nerve-wracking. And you want to go after them like that? You want to bring that out and have shame on you, shame on you. You notice the only time you ever hear about the Secret Service is when they think they done found something wrong. Ain't that a hell of a way to have to live your life? The only time they got something to say about you is when it's bad. As if all of them don't drink. Let me show you an example. You know, folks, it's something, man. I mean, and I'm so thankful that we have a president that's got some sense. They stop running up to him almost now. Do you still have confidence in this secret? And he said, yes. He said, I'll reserve judgment until the investigation is over. There's nothing really to investigate. That's just them. The man was off duty, man. And still tried to answer the call. Told you, they done lost it, man. They just done lost it. Drinking and going on, that didn't just start. You been in the military? I have. And every evening, we go to the enlisted man's club and get that 3.2 beer. You drink enough of it and you get me walking. Just ask anybody. The officers, they drink, man. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I'm saying they acting like this stuff just started. The only thing that just started is a bunch of fools sitting up in Congress airing things that shouldn't have been aired. The only thing that should have happened was what their supervisor did. Is told them, look, y'all going home. You can't do nothing like this. Just going home. Oh, how come he didn't fire them? Well, that's what they want. Anytime, you know, it's you done got people like Grover Norquist and people that he represents. They done took charge of your government. And they're making you get rid of every patriotic person that you have. And the only thing you're going to have left is a bunch of sycophants that's got their mind on your pocketbook. You ain't going to have no, because soon you're going to have people out that's over in other countries coming here running your country. You just saw an example of that. You got the president or the prime minister of Israel over here acting like he's the one that determines policy for the United States. And they standing up clapping. Let me let you hear something from their own president. Let me show you something here. Listen to President Bush here. Got all them squares up there that don't know nothing about nothing. Bunch of squares that grew up with everything and ain't never had to, probably been had manicures all their life. He break a fingernail. I got to go see Gracie. These people ain't no men.
You. And I believe we're developing tools within the Constitution to do so. Some people in this country want to get rid of them, and they're wrong. They're wrong. You can't expect me and people in this government to do what we need to do to protect you and your family if we don't have the tools that we think are necessary to do so.
And you said within the law, and yet you admitted that there were these CIA secret facilities. Okay.
So what? Why is that not within the law?
The head of Amnesty International says secret sites are against international law.
Well, we just disagree with him. And plus, my job is to protect you.
He talking, President Bush telling him the truth. I mean, I got to agree with him on that. Are you aware that your autoimmune system is not a conscious system? It's a subconscious system that your conscious system don't even know when it's been activated. Because it's a defensive system and it can't depend on the conscious mind. You don't know nothing about government. You know your own children. They're doing whatever they please. And you done told, you even got your officers running around here talking about if your dad and your mama, if you think you being mistreated, you call us. I wish you would call one of them on me. I tell him, oh, he called you? Okay. Here's his bags and here's his clothes. Take him. Go on. Bye. Ain't gonna give you my baby. My baby ain't gonna call you. But all them turds that's around here that you done grew up feeding and taking care of and all that, and then they turn on you for the devil? To hell with them. That's what I said. Give them to him. And when they call you, I want to come home. No, you aren't. You ain't got no home here. Listen to what President Bush said.
And most American people, if I said that we had who we think's the mastermind of the 9/11, they would say, why don't you see if you can't get information out of him without torturing him, which is what we did.
Were you made personally?
My job is to protect this country, Matt. And I'm going to, within the law. And it gets second guessed all the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me remind you, September the 11th for them was a bad day. For us, it was a change of attitude. Let me remind you, September the 11th for them was a bad day. And it gets second guessed all the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me remind you, and it gets second guessed all the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me remind you, and it gets second guessed all the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me.
Where does Benjamin Netanyahu live? What was he doing over here second guessing our president? Our president had told him what he was going to do.
Yes, sir.
I bet you he wouldn't have came over here if George Bush had been president. They wouldn't have invited him over here then. Why they invite him over here now? To show you that they are a bunch of racists and they don't even respect the president's office if the man that's in that office, don't care how much sense he have, he got the wrong color.
Yes, sir.
We'd rather have a foreigner over here telling us what to do than him. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm supposed to listen to them, try to run down the Secret Service who's kept the president safe for the past 6 years? What you mean, do you trust him? They found some, they put it on the news that they found a couple of bullets on the floor where the first family lived. That never should have made the news.
Yes, sir.
And the president should have never heard about it. You know why? Because he got enough on him without worrying about whether or not he finna get shot next. It's their job to keep him safe. And they make him and his family feel safe. He don't need to know. It's not his job to secure himself. It's their job. These people don't know nothing about governing. When my daddy was about to lose our house, him and my mother knew. But we children didn't know. We thought we were just going up there to pick fruit for the summer. And you know, we didn't know we was there because my daddy was on, Chrysler had laid him off. And the money wasn't enough. What we need to know for, he didn't need to worry us with that. You think I tell you everything that I got on my mind that's bothering me? What good is that going to do? What good is it for the president? I mean, he already knows that, look, I don't care how much security you put around the president, you still need God's help. Because President Kennedy was shot dead. And Secret Service was in front and behind and riding on the back of the car, and it got murdered. But at least he wasn't expecting it. At least he felt comfortable enough. He felt safe. And that's their job, to make him feel safe. He's not fool enough to think that they are invincible. But those men don't deserve being ran down. They don't deserve being publicly ridiculed either. And they certainly don't deserve to be threatened with losing their job just because on their off time they got drunk. That happens every day in the Marine Corps. At the end of the day, when you off, you go get drunk. At least that's the way it was when I was in there. What, you expect me to say I didn't get drunk? Yes, I did. I didn't get falling down, but I used to go get high every day. If not every day, at least a few times a week. I just didn't like beer. And you know, when we went to Oceanside or someplace, I'd go down, we'd get us a little whiskey or whatnot. And you know, that not gonna pretend that I was something different than them everybody else in that. I didn't do drugs. I didn't want no drugs. You know, alcohol I could throw up. Drug, it get in your system. You got to wait on it to get out. You see, so I just don't. I mean, don't let them do that. Don't let them make you an ungrateful people. Noah's, look at the history of Noah. One of his sons laughed at him and because he was naked. That wasn't meaning physically naked. It means he was ungrateful. And then he saw a little fault in his father, and he gonna what? Magnify that? No. Don't never be the kind of person that when someone helping you, you willing to accept it, and then when they foot slip, they'll manifest how much you really hated them. Don't be like that. That's called ingratitude. There ain't a such thing as a righteous man that ain't never did wrong. There's no such creature. Why you think Jesus said, when the man said, good master, Jesus said, what are you calling me good for? There ain't none good but one. In other words, Jesus didn't want to hear all that. Don't come up here with no flattery to me, man. Just go and do what you're supposed to do. Go sell all you got and come follow me. I got him out of there, didn't he? Yeah. Coming up here puking up on me. You go tell that to somebody else. But, what they doing to those men is wrong. So Justin, that is what? Let's see you walk in their shoes a little bit. Let's see you get out there and be cool and calm, at least appearing that way, while anybody that's in that crowd that's out there with the president could open fire at any time. And the only thing you watching for is, do I need to jump in front of the president right now? And if he want to get a little tipsy on his time off, leave the man alone. Because if all of these people wasn't so wicked, he wouldn't need no Secret Service. When Trayvon Martin got shot down unarmed, why didn't Congress go to work and say, what can we do to see to this not happening again? We need to make a law that protects unarmed people, since these people don't have that. And yet it keeps happening. It keeps happening. Then when these two police officers who was armed got shot down, they called that a cowardly act. Well, why wasn't it a cowardly act when Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin got shot down? You didn't call that a cowardly act. I'm through listening to your double standard lying. It's wrong to take a man's life. And it don't make no black or white. What if you made a mistake? Can you give it back? Well, then don't take it. You notice a lot of things you take and you say, oh man, I'm sorry, here. But a life ain't one of them things. And since you can't give it back, don't take it. Now I'm going to tell you something else. there should be a standard for the police force in a society like this where people are so low down. The standard in the police force should be that you need to be at least 6 feet tall. A policeman should not even be a policeman if he's under 6 feet tall. We don't need nobody walking with a gun and a club, scatter people who ain't got nothing. I ought to say he ought to be tall as a basketball player. but I ain't gonna put that big of strenuous on it. And make it 6'1". Because the average person is about 5'9", 5'10". And most people, you know, even some bad actors, they kind of leery about walking up to somebody that they have to look up to. Do you understand? Okay. Do it the right way, and then you don't have to be, and get all of these people that, I mean, I'm not telling you to take the rednecks off the police force, but get them the job in white people's neighborhood. They'll take better care of white people than the average one, because he truly loves his people. And while he's there, see, he's protecting them, and at the same time, they are actually giving him a lesson, because a lot of white people are very civilized. And then he's learning how to be a civilized human being from watching them. You understand? And you put black officers in black communities. And figure out another way to make a living other than putting people in jail. Then you don't have to keep on trumping up false charges on people. Now, anybody that disagrees with me on what I'm saying about anything, I'm not bigoted. Show me. I've asked for an audience with the Congress, not to disrespect them, but look, man, if you truly as a servant of the people, then why can't the people talk to you? Why we got to go through a bunch of 369 to come up and present, especially me being from a people who being murdered wholesale in this country. Get a audience with them. You heard President Bush say, ain't no fear again.
All the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me, and it gets second guessed all the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me remind you, and it gets second guessed all the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me remind you, and it gets second by people who don't live in the United States. But let me remind you.
And the last thing he expected, and it never happened to him in no real vindictive way, that when the president came in there, when President Bush walked into Congress and told them what he wanted, they made it happen. That's why he said to be second guessed by someone who don't even live in the United States, because he wasn't worried about nobody in his own government disrespecting his office like this current president. You're wrong, man. You're just wrong. Sitting up over there as good as telling the president of Iran, well, whatever deal you make with him, we're going to undo. And it ain't that simple either. And if they knew they had that kind of power, Why did they write that letter? To show that they have no respect for the black man. You gonna respect us when I'm through. You just mark my word. I was born to get respect. And already shut your mouth, and pretty soon, if you ain't careful, this weather gonna shut your eyes. Just keep on. Keep on disrespecting the owner of the earth. Just keep on. We let you have dominion. And anything we let you have back, and we taking it back. Just keep on. Yeah. I know you think I'm talking there. Some of y'all think I'm crazy. I know it. And you keep, yeah. Yeah. And you know, folks don't mess with crazy people. I'll tell you what. Like I said, I don't judge people by their outward appearance. And you can say what you want about those men of the Secret Service. But if they had wanted to see President Obama dead, they could have arranged that. Now, you keep your mouth off of them, me. You want to do anything, pray for them. And wish them and their families health. And wish them well. And I say to those men, if any of them are listening, look, man, you're gonna drink, you see what they gonna do. Stay out of the public eye. That's the kind of society you're living in now. Everybody looking for a I got you moment.
Please leave your name and number, and I will return your call. Thank you, and God bless you.
So don't let people make you take part in unjust actions. It's a very unjust action to man down his life for you. And then when his foot slipped, you ready to persecute him or prosecute him. Why can't you just tell him, hey, look, don't let this happen no more. Don't do that. That's what his supervisor did. You know what? They want to run everybody's business but Congress business. I mean, and why don't he get in Congress and pass some laws that will make things better? Control. And a lot of these other things that's happening. No, he's too busy trying to divert your attention away from the fact that none of them are doing their job. Congressman Elijah what's his name? Cummings will distance himself from them people. Because they're just trying to use him. Can't he see what they just did to the president? Because he's black. Why don't he reprimand his fellow Republicans in that? And tell them, hey man, you can't do this. You done crossed the line, man. When I see, look, let me tell you something. I told you before, anytime you cannot look at your own and call a spade, and call an unjust action an unjust action, and call wrong to try to make judgments about other people's wrong. Would you let a colorblind person decorate your house? Well, all right then. Then why would you let those who are blind to justice make judgments about your life? Why you think none of them say nothing to me? Didn't I say if I said something that's wrong, that the phone lines are open? And when people disagree with me, I don't refuse to talk to them no more. When people disagree with me, I talk to them, and if they act a fool, I'll say, "You okay? You out of here. You call back when you're ready to talk. You got some sense." I didn't ready to agree with me. I said, "Call back when you're ready to be civilized." If you know you're right, then you ought to know that if you know you're right, then you can convince anybody that you're right. If they listen. Oh, yes, you can. I know I can. You come in here and see if I can convince you. If you talk to me and not at me, I will back you in. Do nothing but say that's right. I have to admit that's right. You don't know me. You just think you do. So I'm going to now. How many anybody listening that believe that them women they wasn't lying? It's kind of hard to say you don't that you believe they wasn't lying when you heard them lie. One of them admitted it. Plenty of cocaine behind the scenes. But then why they come in there acting like, "Oh, he drugged me"? You've been drugging yourself. You know, what do you think I am? Just stand up and say. I don't just say nothing. I let you hear somebody that you claim it got some sense. I mean, George Bush, he told you that he letting somebody that live from outside of America come in here second guessing us. Huh? Yes. Call him a lot of stupid. Yes, sir. So I'm going to stop it right there. I know y'all about ready to go. So I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna let you hear one more thing from Janice Dickerson, because you know she just talk. Let's just listen at her.
This last couple of years, there's been a lot of controversy between you and Tyra. Right?
You think? There's back history of experience and the way she treated me when I worked for her on the panel. You know, and there was a way that, that I experienced being on that show, being conned, thinking that I was actually helping judge a TV franchise, that my say had any input, but it really didn't, you see, because CoverGirl are the people that choose the model. Right. Not any of the judges, not what Tyra says. It's who CoverGirl thinks should win each season.
So that's very That there is.
People don't know that.
Well, you know,
when I found out, I split. The fact of the matter is, now she's made like $90 million, or she makes like something like that. She'd probably be happy that I was in talking this way, but she makes a lot of money per year, still hawking that franchise worldwide. But in essence, and they're doing it in every country, it's CoverGirl that chooses the winner.
You know, and I think that's very interesting.
But definitely on Tyra's show, it's rigged. It's rigged. That's why I was so depressed doing that. You know, because for several seasons I sat there and I was like pro the American Girl. Then it was somebody else. Then it was somebody else, and none of my picks ever got to stay. And I was the only person on that panel that actually did something, and the only person on that panel next to Tyra who did L, I did vote. Fuck you, Tyra. Eat a bag of royal skank.
These is the people that come out and lies Dr. Cosby. And CNN and Fox and even MSNBC. They all gave these people an open forum. And I have to say that on Ronan let her talk, and then when she revealed herself, flipping the bird, and everything, he said, well, that speaks volumes. Understand? And that to the other women. We the stronger race. And drop the blue, drop the blue, drop the blue. You ain't heard from us that thing. You know, it just ain't no right way to do wrong thing. Leave Dr. Cosby and his family alone. That's what our word to the whole media should be. Leave that man alone. Some of them, for the black community, that's his money, man. It's a whole lot of folks think, when you get money, who you share it with? It's just like when Gaddafi sit up there offering the money to Minister Farrakhan for us to rise up against, let me see if I can find a little bit of that. Let me show you here. Let's go back to the Donahue interview first, just a minute. I like to show you things because, you know, people try to run game on you. You're going to have to learn to see through the game and cut to the chase. So just give me a minute. That's one. And this the other one.
This is his black brothers and sisters.
Now here we go with Donahue asking.
Years, and it does not look as though she will have peace because there is no peace structured on injustice.
You know what? It is a fact. Israel has a lap full of problems, as does America. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's going to be real hard to argue with you regarding the grievances. And I certainly think it's a mistake to get into a contest about whose atrocity is the worst atrocity. Nevertheless, are you here to say that the Jews are not entitled to any homeland anywhere?
For 40 years, the Jewish state has existed, and they've had problems defining What is a Jew? Jewish leaders likened me to a black Hitler.
They did.
I took umbrage at that. Sorry, Mr. Donahue, but the Bible calls Babylon great, but Babylon wasn't good.
Okay, all right.
Pharaoh was great, but he wasn't good.
There's something.
Hitler is a great and consequential man, but affection with the United States.
But my reading of your position is, I have the feeling that you
affection with the United States.
But my reading of your position is, I have the feeling that you've really given this up as a possibility, and that you're looking for a black nation with black ownership of business and black control of the financial destiny of the membership.
Not at all. Separation is an ultimate solution. It is an extreme solution. If we can get freedom, justice, and equality.
Now, before I let this go on, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that it's the only solution. That's what's on the back of our magazine. You done tried everything else. You ain't never tried being on your own. We've been slaves all our lives. We ain't never been independent. How you gonna say that won't work? And if he don't want a nation of his own, why is he calling what he's doing the Nation of Islam? Okay, now listen.
Equality within the social, political, and economic order of the United States.
So you continue to hold out the, can a white person be a member of the Nation of Islam? Your nation.
There are white Muslims, yes.
There are. Well, you're smiling. It hasn't always been that way. Okay, all right. If that's the case, then why are you going out of your way you invited Gaddafi to speak to your assembly in Chicago on closed circuit television?
Yes.
And he encouraged the 400,000 black Americans who serve in the armed forces of the United States to revolt and fight the oppressor, and he'd help them, finance them with munitions. Is this the way we get to our promised land of integrated equality for all?
Of course, the majority of blacks reject that suggestion.
And does Mr. Farrakhan reject it?
Of course I do. However, the logic of Mr. Gaddafi appears to be the logic of the Reagan administration, for $14 million are being asked for the Nicaraguans or to overthrow the government.
If we can support Contras for the purpose of overthrowing Nicaragua, why should we be so indignant that Gaddafi would tell American blacks to support the overthrow of the American racist system? Is that your position? Okay.
Now, what Brother Minister Farrakhan obviously didn't see was that Gaddafi there was trying to get us killed. You're going to encourage a people who don't know nothing really about no warfare to go up against a nation that ain't did nothing but made war since they've been on the planet? These people are scientists at making war. You're gonna furnish us with what to go to war against America? That would have just been suicide. Now, I want you to keep that in mind and then listen to this interview. You notice Minister Farrakhan, I'm not trying to say he acted on that. He wasn't. But he didn't see what was really going on. You sit up there, man, just because that man puking up on you and acting like he cares something about you. If he cared so much about us, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was asking for a loan. Let me show you something. You got to see these things. You need to see these things. Then you will understand why I've taken the position that I have taken It's not enough to just tell you something. I need to show it to you. So just give me a minute here. Huh? I got to take my time. So just give me a minute.
This man is truly building the foundation for a nation. Yes, sir. In transportation, we have a fleet of cross-country tractor trailers, the most modern. We have a fixed base operation air aviation department in Gary, Indiana. Now we know that America also has many aircraft that, although excellent in design and suitable for use, they are grounded. We are already in contact with America to purchase some of these. Under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we are negotiating for the purchase of 2 or 3 cargo planes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad
Now you can go online and find that. You can go right online and find the German thing with 1974 Savior's Day, and it will show you all of the things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was doing with the money we gave him. Now, listen to this.
His black brothers and sisters have suffered down the years. You are a loophole for Muammar Gaddafi, who you say offered you. On his return home to Chicago in February, he would explain himself only to his brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam.
My job was to get up quickly and get out of America and connect the Nation of Islam and Black America to Africa.
Warm welcome from Muammar Gaddafi. The Libyan news agency reported Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi saying the following: "Our confrontation with America used to be like confronting a fortress from outside. Today we have found a loophole to enter the fortress from within." You are a loophole for Muammar Gaddafi, who you say offered you $1 billion, who has in the past given you $5 million.
Well, he offered me more than $1 billion. He offered me the wealth of the nation of Libya behind the Nation of Islam.
How come you didn't? You know what I'd have asked him if I had talked to him? If I was Minister Farrakhan, I'd just simply ask Mr. Gaddafi, Brother Gaddafi, you know, I'm just a spokesman for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's how he could have framed it. But why didn't you? The messenger was asking you to loan him. Why didn't you loan him those billions? You didn't have it then, or what? He'd hurry up and got you out of there. Yeah. Because he will offer us billions to go shed blood. But he wouldn't offer us, he gave us about $3 million loan when we was building up and making ourselves a peaceful nation. There's no such thing as a nation that is rooted in peace, starting off in bloodshed. Woe to him that buildeth the city in blood. I'm not trying to build up no no nation by murdering other people. I don't need to do that. All of you who believe in righteousness that look like me, help me. Join with me. That's what I'm saying. May Allah bless us all, keep us safe, and in our right mind. May Allah.
Your conference recording has stopped. Bye.